Long before they became glam metal icons of the late 80s and early 90s, Skid Row needed more than big hair and heavy riffs. They needed a name that packed punch, edge, and authenticity. The moniker Skid Row may sound like a nod to sleaze and chaos, but its roots go deeper into American slang, street culture, and rock and roll attitude. Formed in 1986 in Toms River, New Jersey, Skid Row was born out of the rising tide of hard rock and metal, alongside bands like Bon Jovi and Guns N' Roses. Founding members Dave "Snake" Sabo and Rachel Bolan were determined to create a band that wasn't just about flashy solos or catchy hooks. They wanted something raw, streetwise, and powerful. So when it came time to name their project, they looked for something that represented the gritty spirit of the underdog, and they found it in an old urban term: Skid Row. Historically, Skid Row refers to a rundown area of a city, often populated by the homeless, addicts, and those cast aside by society. The term originated in the Pacific Northwest during the logging boom of the late 19th century. Skid roads were the paths used to drag logs through towns, and eventually the areas around these paths, often filled with saloons, brothels, and cheap boarding houses, became synonymous with poverty and despair. By the 20th century, Skid Row had become a common term to describe a city's most neglected district. For a rock band trying to capture a rebellious, streetwise image, Skid Row was a perfect fit. It was dark, dangerous, and instantly evocative. It told a story of survival, edge, and rough living, all of which mirrored the band's aesthetic. Skid Row's sound fused traditional heavy metal with punk attitude and glam rock showmanship, and the name reflected that duality: beauty and decay, melody and menace. There's also a persistent legend that the band had to license the name from none other than John Bon Jovi, who allegedly owned the rights to it. While this has never been fully confirmed, the story adds to the lore surrounding the name and its ties to the New Jersey rock scene of the era. Bon Jovi's support helped Skid Row land their first record deal, so whether myth or fact, the connection further cements the name's place in rock history. Skid Row's self-titled debut album in 1989 exploded onto the scene with hits like 18 and Life, Youth Gone Wild, and I Remember You, and the name quickly became synonymous with rebellion and rock stardom. Lead singer Sebastian Bach's wild stage presence and powerhouse vocals helped push the band into the spotlight, but it was the image, gritty, raw, and unapologetically loud that made them unforgettable. In choosing Skid Row, the band didn't just pick a cool-sounding name. They tapped into a cultural symbol of struggle and survival. It captured the blue-collar grit of their hometown roots, the raw emotion of their lyrics, and the edge that separated them from the polished pop rock acts of the day. It was a name born on the margins and destined for the main stage.